Hello everyone, welcome back to another video. My name is Matthew, and today I'm gonna be doing another episode of the Ask Me series. However, it's not gonna be an average episode. This is going to be, I could make this into my own, different, kind of video if I really wanted to, but I decided against that because, this was part of the Ask Me questions forum on Google Forms, so it basically counts. But today, I'm going to be answering one big question that actually quite a bit of people have asked me over the past 2 years, basically, because it's about COPPA. Never thought I'd be talking about that again on the channel now. What up? Stuttering a lot as well. Basically, on the Google form, this was actually asked back in August, so almost a month ago. I'm sorry to keep you waiting there. I got a question from a person named Anonymous, which, if you don't know what Anonymous means, it just basically means they don't want their identity revealed in this video. And they basically asked me, and this is what it reads: ever since YouTube enforced COPPA, your channel has been on a big decline in viewership, in terms of viewership. Why limit your audience now compared to how your channel was pre-COPPA? Your type of content can't get you into trouble, as characters like Godzilla isn't meant to be geared towards toddlers. Now, this is a very good question, but it's also a question I've been having to deal with a lot throughout the past 2 years, which, people have asked me, why is your channel marked for kids? Why can't I comment? Why can't I do this? Which, that's a good question, but I've answered that several times. So let's break down the question, and first, we'll answer as we go, but I'll give, the summary at the end, basically. So, guess if you want to skip to the end, you can go to that. So, the first part of the question reads, ever since YouTube enforced COPPA, your channel has been on a big decline in terms of viewership. That's actually not true. At first, that might seem true, because a lot of my videos, if you don't count, the Secondly Object Show and the U2's videos, my videos don't do all that well, at least of this recording. Some of them just, only do single digits. Some are at 5, some are at 6. It's yeah, I get it. It's low, but I got the video out there. And I honestly am proud of that the most than anything. But that's actually not true that I'm on a big decline, which I'm actually going to prove it to you right now. So what we're looking at right here is actually my entire channel's full history of views. This is everything from public, unlisted, private, deleted, videos that, basically everything that I've uploaded to this channel and how much views those videos, or I guess my channel in general, have been getting in that certain time frame. From October 29th, 2015, the day my channel was created, all the way up until now. It doesn't show the whole thing, but we'll get to that. So first, we're going to kind of focus our attention towards this area, which this little spike right here was a video I uploaded before Welcome to my channel, which is actually the Game Godzilla teaser thing. We're going to kind of, there you go, you can kind of see me. Hello. Right here is when I uploaded my public videos. They started kind of getting a little bit of traction, and then, now we're kind of getting the ball rolling. So here we have a lot of these videos doing decently well, not too much. They're pulling double digits. It's at least, it's manageable, I'm not doing, the most viral things, but it's still pretty good. This spike right here, I want to focus on the spikes primarily. The spikes right here, if I can actually get it, boom, right here. On May 19th, 2017, which is actually the release of the Captain Underpants movie trailer, or at least around there. These were from my Captain Underpants videos, specifically the movies, but I think my book reviews were doing pretty well. This is the highest spike in views I've had in terms of like pre-COPPA. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is the highest point. Nowhere else on the timeline does it show like a bigger spike. Yeah, we have like little spikes like these, and then some right here. But aside from this, there has not been a single big spike in views. Now, let's hop over several years later, where we get to about closer to present day. So 2019, it's still doing at least consistent, maybe a bit up, maybe a bit down. Right around here, hold on. Right around here is when COPPA first hits my channel. We take a bit of a dive. It's really slightly minimal, but then right here is when we get our big spike. This is the first spike of, when COPPA was first implemented, and it reaches 291 views. That is almost the same amount, 300, as it was pre-COPPA. So already, we are already like beating it, which that's honestly really amazing. So, and then we kind of plunge back down, kind of back at the consistency range. We ain't doing all that great. And then for some reason it stops displaying the views. Okay, I don't know what happened there, but now we're back on track. So yeah, we're back kind of doing a bit consistent, and then boom, we get to the second spike, which is January 2021, where I get about, I'm gonna say, okay, that's 467 views. I originally estimated that being 450, but no, that's 67, not 50. So that right there is, it's not exactly double, but it's very close to double the amount of views I had back in the first spike. And then we continue a bit longer, where the average is actually getting higher than it was before. See? It's getting higher. And then, yeah, we take a bit of a dive, and then we come back up, take a dive again, it's kind of mixed, and then boom. June and somewhat part of July, so late June, early July, is when I received the biggest spike in views ever. It says the biggest spike, can't really nail it right now. Did 600, this 400. Let's see. 476 is the highest I can get it right now. But basically, this is the biggest spike. It almost tops 9,000, which if you look at it right here, the bar graph actually shows it being almost 3 times higher than my first spike all the way over here. Because look at the 300 line that unfortunately the cursor is following or covering. And then look here. That's almost 3 times the amount. So this proves that my channel is not on a decline, but rather an incline in terms of views. And it's even going high up again. Not terribly high, but right now it's very close to how it was on my first and only very high pre-COPPA spike. So, and maybe if you're talking about overall, maybe this is more than what it is now. But at the same time, you have to understand that COPPA itself is still very new to YouTube right now, and only started affecting us YouTubers and content creators back in 2020, and it's only 2022, which means it's only been 2 years. I've been doing YouTube prior to this for 5 years. 2 extra years if you count my first video, but like, this is just the topic at hand here. So this actually proves that I'm on an incline of viewership rather than a decline. Okay, so I'm recording this segment of the video a few days after because I just, for some reason, slacked on this video, probably because this one slipped my mind. But basically, the point of the last segment still stands. the fact that my channel is still growing, not as opposed to shrinking or declining. It's improving. So it's inclining, not declining. So with that being said, that's actually like genuine proof that my channel is actually growing. In terms of views at least. Now the second part of the question is, why limit your audience now compared to how your channel was pre-COPPA? That is a very good question, and one that I've actually answered already. But I guess I might as well say it here. The reason I was so comfortable of just letting my channel be marked for kids and having the comments section disabled, having the playlists, adding to playlists disabled, and stuff like that, and even the I forget what it's called, but like, you exit to the home menu, and there's like a smaller version of the video that plays, but there's no playback on kids' videos or whatever. Basically, I was comfortable letting that slide because I hardly had any comments to begin with. Prior to now, hold on. I know what you're gonna say, but let me address that too. That whole thing with comments and stuff. Yeah, I get very nice and genuine compliments like hey, good video, good job, nice, things like that. But it was never really constructive. There was never really any, big constructive comments that I would ever get. And a big portion of the comments that I got, and keep in mind, it was a long time, 2016 to 2020, that's literally 4 years. So when that happens, all I would just really get was like spam bot accounts just trying to get my attention. There's like things like that. There was other various different comments. There was also some hate comments. Of course, everyone's gonna get that. And it's not that I'm trying to hide from criticism. I can definitely take criticism. It's just I never got criticism, so I was just like, what's the point? And I know there's gonna be that person who says, oh, well, why don't you just enable the comments so people allow you to give constructive criticism? That would be a valid point if I wasn't already, intending this channel to be for kids. And that's kind of how it's always been. In fact, I warned you guys about this all the way back in 2019. Roll the clip. If you guys don't know, I'm a child-friendly YouTuber, and I don't like to, I like to play it a little too safe with my videos, if I'm being honest. But I normally like to go, child-friendly with my videos. So, as you can see, that's kind of how it has always been. YouTube's rules, when they first announced it with implementing COPPA, that's just kind of how it, I was like, okay, I'm gonna lose my comments section, but no biggie, I can still make my videos. And that's what I was fine with, everything's still fine, I'm still managing, I'm still having fun, and that's the thing. I've always been a fan of just having fun. And, I'm gonna go on and say this as well. I think that in terms of my channel itself, YouTube removing the dislike counter was probably a smart decision for some of us. Now, I know it causes a lot of problems, and I respect that, and honestly, I do think it's an issue, but for channels like me who are constantly getting dislike spammed, that's honestly a really nice way of trying to help prevent that. Honestly, if you're going to try to prevent that, just at least give an option to disable it, completely. I think it should be optional, so, hey. But, I mean, you can still see the rating on the video, in terms of the YouTube Creator Studio, and I think there's some extensions, too. I'm going to have to look into that. But, with that being said, that's kind of the reason why. I never really got any in the first place, and even if I were to try and open it up again, it would go against the channel's whole intention of being kid-friendly in the first place. So it was kind of like that since the beginning. I remember creating my channel and trying to keep everything kid-friendly, just me having fun, doing videos, and that's kind of how it's always been. And the third and last point of the question is, or your type of content can't get you into trouble, as characters like Godzilla isn't meant to be geared towards toddlers. That is true. That is very true. For Godzilla. See, it's... Okay, Godzilla himself is undeniably, at least, intended for a much more mature audience. But that itself, you know, it's not the only thing it appeals to. Because remember, there's a difference between intention and appeal. The intention is that Godzilla isn't intended for a much older audience. Someone like teenagers, older teenagers to adults. Godzilla himself can also appeal to small kids, like toddlers, little children, I guess, even babies, for all we know. And to prove that, Godzilla himself has literally gotten kids' toys before. And I own a few myself as collectibles, so basically speaking, Godzilla himself appeals to any age range, regardless if it's for kids or not. And there's even, in Japan at least, I know it still has yet to make its way to North America, but in Japan, they're trying to make Godzilla appeal to kids more in the form of a chibi Godzilla. They have chibi Anguirus, or I think there's an Anguirus. Am I thinking of Godzilla Land? Might be thinking of Godzilla Land. There's also chibi Rodan, chibi Mothra, and chibi King Ghidorah. Which, regardless of your opinion on that, the fact that they're deliberately trying to appeal to kids is actually, it proves that Godzilla can go both ways. And even though, well, again, Godzilla himself, kids just see Godzilla as a big dinosaur that spews fire. That's what kids view him as. And, to compare Godzilla to another popular franchise, Star Wars. Now, I know, Godzilla and Star Wars are kind of like in the same thing, where Star Wars might have been intended for an older audience, but Star Wars itself also heavily appeals to a younger demographic. It's like the same thing across both ways. And even if you want to say Godzilla strictly for a mature audience, you can't also forget about the other franchises that I do on this channel, like Angry Birds, which undeniably is meant for little kids, or at least kids of a certain age range, if that makes any sense. The Owl House, which is one of the biggest shows right now, and it's literally on a channel where it's meant for like 7 to 11. Amphibia, same thing. Thomas the Tank Engine, there's no fighting that there. And the biggest one of them all, object shows. Although I think Thomas is bigger. But object shows have so much kids in the community. It's literally like undeniable that it's for kids, or at least meant to be. Intention, I don't even know what I'm saying anymore, but the point still stands. Godzilla himself appeals to kids, might not be intended for kids, but that still doesn't excuse all the other topics that I do on this channel. Captain Underpants, Smash Brothers, Mugen, just to name a few. So, with that being said, I think that answers the question, and also, finally, can put an end to this whole thing. Which, to finally sum this all up, in case if you just skip to the end, it's just because that I feel comfortable doing this because I wasn't really losing anything, and not to mention, being a kid's channel was the whole point of this channel to begin with. Something that I can just have fun with, just making whatever videos I want, of course keeping it clean, keeping it fun, and even then my YouTube channel's on an incline of views, growing itself rather than on a decline, and not to mention, the stuff I do appeals to kids and really shouldn't get me in trouble in terms of like just keeping it as marked for kids. So with that being said, I hope this whole thing answers any question of what people have with my channel being marked for kids. So with that being said, thank you guys for watching this video. If you guys liked it, definitely subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you guys in the next episode of the Ask Me series. You probably forgot this was an episode of the Ask Me series. Peace out, everyone.